Okie dokie. So this is our bar session together. We are going to grab a chair if you need it. Also, for a little mix up and an add-on, I'm going to be using a Pilates ball. If you haven't got a Pilates ball, you can absolutely do body weight anyway. All still good, and I'll kind of cue you through as we get there. Or you could use a firm cushion, depending on how this works for you. It could be a firm cushion or one that you can kind of roll up because you're going to be wedging it behind the knee. So there's that to consider, that it may or may not work with the cushion. Body weight is still awesome. Talk you through it. Make sure you've got your space around you. If you need a chair, it may or may not be for the first little mini sequence, not so much the warm up because we'll be freestanding for that, but the first little mini sequence might need a chair, or just have a wall or a worktop or whatever it is you normally have to have additional support. If not, you're out here, you're freestanding, and you're just going to go with the flow. See how you feel, see how you get on. To start with, very straightforward. And again, if you want to roll down to a chair, it might be a nice little additional support. I'm going to have my feet hip distance. I'm going to stand up tall. So from the base of my pelvis, already thinking about pulling up to the rib cage, up, up, up from within. And then when you're ready for it, we're just going to slide down. So you're just going to have a standing forward bend. So if you want to hold halfway, and it's kind of a flat back option with straight legs, and this is as far as you can go, stick with it. If you are able to, gravity might help you a little bit, and just let you draw down. So I'm letting my core kick in a little bit more. I'm letting the arms be heavy. I might let the head be heavy now as well. And you're just gently playing around with where you can kind of pause. And you find a maximum for stretch-wise, but not maximum that you push yourself too far too soon. And you're just going to hold it here for me. I'm on my fingertips. You don't have to be. It could be the whole of your hand down already. You could have a bend in your knees. So we're all different. But when you're ready for me to come up with me, soften the knees, roll up. Nice and slow, tuck your tailbone as you're coming up, soften through that reach through those fingertips, and then I'm just going to flop the arms back down again. So just gently have them flop front, flop back, and then breathe in, stretch and reach, hold it, and then here, straighten up for me if you can, hinging at the hips, and again, just softly come down to that standing forward bend, again, that you can manage, excuse me, and you're breathing through this. Nice big deep breaths, relaxing into it. May or may not have gone a little deeper for actually sensation through the stretch-wise, through the back of the legs. This time, bend nice and deeply, come through a squat position as you come up, and then just give me a slight V shape with the arms, and when you come down, we're just going to interlace the hands, pull back, hinge at the hips, just give me a flat back, don't necessarily need any more than that. And then when you're coming up, we'll just shake it out. So from here, I'm just going to turn and face you, but I'm just going to have that sweeping arm. I actually might go a little wider and just do it one side. So you could go down, reach and pull. You can stretch front, pull over the top. Breathing in to breathe it out, and swap sides, do the same thing. I'm just going to breathe in. If you want to go back there and back with the arms, you might have done that already on the first side. This side is feeling slightly different for me, so you will do different things. Just going with whatever your natural movement pattern is here. Last one. Lovely. From here, putting those feet totally zipped up or parallel, and then I am zipping up, and then just reaching and stretching. So having a slightly speedier version, but a nice controlled version of a side bend, not too deep, but a lovely side reach. So the hand that's reaching up goes slightly over on the diagonal. The heel of that same side as the arm that's moving, press it in a little deeper for me into the floor. One more each side coming up now. And pause. Lovely. So from here, we're just going to do an in and out for a wide play into a first position. And you're just going to go with whatever makes sense for the bending and the movement pattern through the hips, the ankles, the knees. So first position starts you off. You can give me a little slide down. Try not to over tuck behind or over tuck under. Just slide down, sliding down the wall. When you come up, just point, step, and give me a little drop. And then I'm just going to point and draw in and come into the center. Out, down on the heel, and down. I'm just going to lift, bring in, come on down, lift. I'm going to go with a slightly wider version maybe of your wide plie, and I'm just pointing my toes on the way back in. So I'm going slightly off camera because of the width of that wide plie. The parallel, if you would prefer, is a nice option, but I'm going with the wide plie just to get into our inner thighs. I'm just pointing and flexing here through the ankles through the feet, so that I can warm us up through the ankles. And drop and back. So we're going to do one more each side. If you can, challenge the depth more so of your wide plie. So let's do it here. Lift it, center for me, slide down. Last one of the wide plie. Finish with our calm version of your releve, of your first position, and then we're going into releve. So we're going to go down and up. If you need the chair here, this might be next on the support system, and you can have just your arms coming in and coming out. So I'm just going to go to a T shape, low and higher, low down when I'm down in that squat position, that first position, and then up on the releve, we're lifting those heels, down, lift, breathe in to breathe out. I've just gone ahead and put my arms above the head now, just change the position, warming up your shoulders, keep going with me. If you can, zip up through those calves and come into a slightly speedier tempo where you're going down and up. So the arms are kind of helping you here now. Down and up. Breathe in. Breathe it out. We're going to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay up there, but bring if you can. So this might be where you need your chair. Heels together. Zip up. Use the glutes. Relax the shoulders. Slide down. Gently hold here. Make sure you're on the tips of the toes. Heels together if you can for me. Knees are out, inner thighs working. Lovely line. Pelvis to crown of the head. Breathing in. Sweep those arms for me. We're going to do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. From here, if you need it at any time, very simple, just wiggle or ever so gently kind of shake it out like the same as you would through your hands or your wrists. And you can do this anytime you like. If you need a stronger version and you actually would like a calf stretch right now, might as well we started into the main phase, but you might as well pop your stretches in when you need them. This is a good little mini break because we're going to go into a parallel squat now. That parallel squat might need you to have your support in front of you or to the side again, that chair. And it's going to be a double heel lift and potentially you have a little hinge as well. So when you're ready, parallel does not have to be zipped up. If you've got the chair, you might change the angle. I'm not saying you have to, but I'm just going to go with parallel. I don't have my chair. So I'm going to sit down in that squat and then just very simply bring the arms up. So sitting down and then reach those arms. So it's quite a slow, calm, easy flowing tempo for me. Lovely breath in and here, exhale. I don't know if you can notice, but sometimes my heels pop out or my ankles roll a little bit, and that's just the way I'm sitting there on my toes. So it's all relative to you. Breathe in, breathe out. If you're holding a chair doing this, you can have one hand on and just have one arm coming up and out and over the head. Let's go with 3 more. We've got 2. Nearly there now, last one. Lovely. From here, we're going to do just what I said. So if you want to, you can have one hand down, and I'm just going to reach and lower, and reach and lower. So it's the heel raise on its own, no squat. It's like when we did the side bend right at the beginning, but we're sweeping the arm. So we're going to do a couple on one side, couple on the other, and then a slightly speedier, stronger version. So my elbows stay soft, my shoulder blades down, stay down my back, and I've got quite a strong pull down mechanism through these arm lines as I bring the arms down. Double heel raise, keep going. 5, 4, 3, 2, and pause. I mentioned a little lean or a hinge, not a lean, a hinge. So we're going to do that now. Same idea as always, chair can be off to the side. It can be ready for your support. So when we're going to come down in your squat, we're going to do a little heel raise that's got that lean. I keep saying lean. A hinge. So sit down in the same fashion in your squat, and then give me maybe 2s or 3s, and then you could stand up tall. When you stand up tall, give me a bit of a pelvic tuck, engage through our lower abs, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your thighs. We stand up tall. You don't have to be down there forevermore. If you want to do more, it could be 5, it could even be 10, but 5 is probably a good number. Do 5 of the heel raises in your hinge and come up. So I'm going to do 5, and I'm going to do 3 lots of them. So join me, or just kind of mix and match and pop in and out of where you are with this. So parallel legs, squat, stay low, and we're going to do 3 and 2 and last one, and come up. So again, I'm going to slide down first, hinge, tummy's engaged. Double heel raise, and I'm just doing a little mini sort of tricep kick back. 3 more, 2 more, 1 more, and up. So one last little round of that. Breathe in, slide down, tummy's engaged, hinge however deep you want to go. Heels are up, arms are out. So we're going with 1, 2, 3, 4. If you can, give me 1 more and hold it out there. Roll those shoulders back, double heels lifted, pump those arms. Give me it for a double count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and done. Lovely. Same idea as a moment ago. Any little loosening off or even a water break, because we've worked the arms a little bit in here, in amongst it, you might just need to loosen up a little bit. I mentioned having our arms coming into this. I mentioned having the hinge. So we've done the hinge, we've done a little bit of arms where we went behind. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have a deep parallel squat, but we're going to do some nice sweeping arms. So I'm going to do the opposite arm. So you can have a calm arm, or you can have one that really stretches and pulls you sort of fingertip to fingertip. Be careful of lifting the shoulders and hunching and losing all our lovely posture. And what we might try is synchronizing it. I don't know how easy it's going to be when you're down there, of your alternating heels with the arms. So whether it's going to be on or off, you just go with the flow. My biggest piece of advice, don't think about it too much, go with the flow. I'm going down into my parallel legs. It will become clear. So slide down. When you're here, you've got that hinge already. And I'm going to reach the arms. If you just want to reach them as is with your heels down, you absolutely can. If you want to walk and have a single heel raise as you walk those arms, then let's do that together. If you can, stay strong with the idea that when you lift that heel, you actually need to engage the core a little bit more. So keep walking, keep reaching. I wouldn't say speed up on this one. Make it good quality, controlled movements. I'm going to give us 5 more. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. And up we come. So same idea as a moment ago when we popped in after each little bit, we pop in a little stretch. I'm going to go back to my calf stretch, but I'm just going to stretch us across the hip at the same time. So my leg that's back is my right leg, so my right arm is the one up and over the top. And then I'm just going to swap, just so that you can see me face on. I'm going to reach over. So breathing through the stretch. It could wrap all the way around. It could just be on the side. And we go up and we go over. Lovely. So another one to kind of transition us is going back to the idea of the wide plie, not being here since the warm-up. So same idea. We're going to have those calm arms. We're going to come in, we're going to come out, and then we're just going to put some pulsing in of the single heel raises. Not doubles, just a singles, but staying low, staying strong for me. So we're going to reach and we're going to drop. So try not to do the hinge now. Try not to drop for the sake of it. You are dropping the arms, but just try not to drop the gaze. Keep it up, keep the chest lifted, and you're just reaching and sweeping. So if you can pull up higher, out through the crown of the head, if you can press a little deeper into the heels, if you could squeeze inner thighs and glutes on the way up, let's do it. Let's go with 5 more, 4 more, 3 more, 2 more, and pause it there. So next up, we are going to go with the lowest that is manageable for the actual squat itself. I'm probably just going to hold my hands. You can hold on to something, onto that chair, and we're going to do a heel raise that goes from side to side. So slide down. If you do need a little hinge, it might be here. I'm going to try and stay upright more so. Works better for me. So hinge or not, either way, you've got to have core engagement, and we're going to do a slow walk. If you can give me a little extra push press, then that's us just layering up another bit of resistance here. We're adding and adding, layer upon layer, pressing into those toes, pushing down into our legs, challenging yourself to keep that posture, keep the chest up, keep the shoulders back and down, keep going. You're about halfway through. We're going to carry on for the same attention to detail for about kind of 5 repetitions per side from here. So keep lifting those heels nice and high. Keep pushing down if you can. Keep the gaze up, keep the chest up, keep the core engaged. 2 more each side. High with those heels. 1 more each side. And pause. Same calf stretching, same anything that you need. I might actually have a little thigh stretch. So you could just give me a very calm one where it's not too much of a pull, but you are stretching. If you can, you just line up those knees, stand up nice and tall, and stretch the front of our thighs. It's worth just having a little calm rather than continuing to just work the same muscles and sort of beat them into their tone. We want to work through it and be able to come out the other side nicely worked, but being able to walk. So from here, if you had it, it's time for that Pilates ball or the firm cushion, or just go with the flow and give me your body weight. Same as before, if you need or want to use a chair, you absolutely can. So one leg doing one thing, one leg doing another. So I've got one leg with the Pilates ball, so it's going to be wedged behind the thigh, so behind the knee, wedged on in. This leg, the other leg, sorry, is going to do a tuck in or a press in. So instead of lifting the leg that's got the tuck, which we might do in another class together, what we're going to do is wedge it, and then you're going to sit down into it. So, sorry, behind the thigh. I said behind the knee. It's behind the thigh, in the thighs. It makes no sense where I just said. So here, I have got one leg in front, one leg behind. So if you can, and if you have, I'm just trying to help you with the body weight version. If you want to, you can have, so first position is heels together. 5th position is where you have them out, and that might be a nice one where you've got your heel to the front big toe, and you're going to give me either a flexed lift or a pointed toe lift from there, slightly soft or straight back leg, and we're just going to do the same thing but have the ball. So the ball between our thighs, you can't see it because of my trousers, but there is space between my pelvis and the ball. There's space between the ball and my knees, and then I just roll it. So that would be me face on in a sort of first position, and then here I am being able to lift and pulse. So if you can lift, and you could pulse in because you've got the ball. If you haven't got the ball, you're going to do a lift away. Both things are going to work your inner thighs. Both are going to need the core. Both are going to be stability exercises. So I've got a pointed toe. Like I said, you can have the flex, and I'm going to push in and in. If your toe touches down or kind of catches the floor, you could just lift and lean. So you could lean a little bit back, tummy's engaged, or soften the knee, and you just lift that leg just a little bit. So breathing in and breathing out. If you want to, you can just hold the arms up and have the shoulders back and down and have our first position. Arms, soft elbows, breathing in, breathing out. We're going with 5 more. Double time these are those. We've got 3. We've got 2. And 1. Nice. So if you've got the ball, you can just take it out in the same way. I might just kick out my legs and just loosen things off. Or if you need to, if you put the toe down and let the knees go in and out, it's a little mini hip opener, but it's the calm version. If you want a hip opener where you go up and over, you absolutely can. So I'm just going to swap us to the other side. So I'm going to put the ball back in exactly the same place. I'm just going to roll the other leg in front. Let me stand back so you can see my feet. So hips facing forward for me. I've got the ball. I'm going to cross it over. And then again, I might have a slightly soft knee and that little mini lean back, because that lifts my foot, and then I can crunch in. I haven't got a chair, but if you needed to, you could have it on the side where you've got the lean back. Probably not so much in front, because you've got a leg that's either lifting or pulsing. Give me more core. Give me more through your posture. So try not to lean in or let it drop you down. That would be a different exercise. This one, we're staying upright. Core is engaged. Lovely lines. Great posture for me. Breathing in, breathing out. We've got 5. There's double time. We got 3. You've got 2. And pause it there. So same idea. You're going to go back to the first leg. But if you are not able to do it with the ball, you could give me a leg lift version without the ball or the cushion, because we're going to do a releve, which means one heel is up, the other leg is still going to do those legs. So pretend I haven't got the ball. You're going to lift, and then from here, you can come out and you can give me toe tapping here, or you've got the ball and you're going to give me a pulsing leg, which is the squeezing on the ball. Same idea. I might change that chair or that support to the side that is my leg that's in releve, because the other leg is moving. I wouldn't necessarily say hold on that side. So I'm going to wedge my ball in. I'm going to stand up tall. I'm going to lift up, and then I'm going to walk it in. So from here, my little squeeze is actually, so same as I just did, I'm going to do a little toe tap. I can't talk and do it. So mine is going to be a little toe tap, because if you're up in the air, the ball might want to roll off, and I'd rather you concentrate on the slow, the controlled movement. So either a slow controlled lift away or a slow controlled pulse, rather than trying to rush through the repetition. So tummy's engaged. I'm going to just cross in front, and I'm going to do a little toe tap in. So I'm just bringing it across, across. So that's my version of squeeze. It has, in this version, a little bit of the obliques happening, because I'm just balancing myself up here, breathing in, breathing in. It's also a little bit like a kick. If you had a ball down there, it'd be like kicking the ball, and that's me squeezing. So 3, we've got 2, and done. Lovely. If you don't need to take the ball off, you don't need to stretch, you can just come down on the heels. I'm going to keep the ball where it is, and I'm going to go on the other side. So I've got that little step back. I'm ready. Actually, let me do the releve first. I'm going to do the releve, twist a little bit, have that lean, have support if you need to, and then toe tapping is happening for me, excuse me, in the same fashion. And again, in my mind's eye, it could be little kick. Ankle could be leading me, could be the whole of the inside of the foot. I've got a little bit of that counter balance through the upper body, through these arms out for me supporting. And I've got the engaged core, I've got the engaged inner thighs, and I've got 3, we've got 2, last one, and done. Ball can come away again. We'll pop that down. If you've got a chair and you want to give me a downward facing dog against the chair, so you can have flat back, straight legs. If you want to just come a little wider and give me a push press out here, I might do the same, where I pull behind and drop down, but we've got a slightly wider leg. If you want super wide, it's just not a wide plie. but that's a nice one for inner thigh stretching. Same idea, if you don't want to drop all the way to the floor, you could reach out. You can just hold where you are, just hold and breathe. I'm going to just stay here for a nice classic side bend. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale, exhale. So next up, we can have the ball or not. So I'm actually going to do a freestanding version without the ball. And then with the ball is kind of the crunch version. So it's basically the knee repeater, but staying low and staying in a hinged position. So I don't mind if you want to work the same leg that had that lift or the squeeze, or you want to flip. So I'm gonna flip. Have a little bit of that split stance, but for a change, you're going to hinge. Often, I would say lead into it. So if you would prefer to have more of the upright option, and you could give me some oblique crunching up here without much hinge, without much lean, it's entirely up to you. Obviously, it's your body. If you can, I'm just going to pop the timer on for us because we might well be doing different variations. So I'm going to lean down, and then from the hinge, make sure, because I'm hinging at the hips, that I've got my tummy engaged, and I'm still going to do that version that has the oblique crunch to it. So stay low. You might actually look down a little bit just because that's where the rest of your spine is, rather than having the upright posture. I've got a little toe tap, and then both hands for me are whipping across. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So if you can, you're going to do the same side. Pop your ball back in or your firm cushion. Give yourself the support. Again, mine would be on the left side. I'm just leaning towards the wall because I haven't got my chair with me. So wedge it in, and you're going to do the same thing. So you're going to lean or hinge, but you might just crunch here. If you want to stay in more of that upright position and do that version, you could have arms above the face or in line or going to the side, but you can equally, if you want to, do it as per the hinge that we've already done. So wedging in behind the knee, flexed foot, it could be a cushion, could be the ball. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, and pause. So I am going to put the ball down because I did my freestanding our body weight option first, and then I will move into that ball. So you are coming at it however you see fit. Would you like to have more hinge, which you didn't have on your first side for whatever, a number of different reasons, or are you okay upright but still giving me that kind of whipping round oblique version? I'm going to get into that hinge and relax the shoulders and then get going. I'm still toe tapping these because I'm using quite a bit of oomph through our arms, getting it out and around. Knee in, arms round, whip it round, round with those arms. Get the knee in, just be mindful of it coming at you, coming towards the arms. Stay low in the leg if you can, in that supporting side. 5, 4, 3, 2, and done. Lovely. So ball, no ball. Decide where you are with this. So it was about 40 seconds of work on that one. So we'll try for the same sort of time on your high up, low down, hinge. So you could very well be repeating the same movement if you haven't got a ball. I'm just throwing extra little layers into the mix. Wedge that ball in wherever you'd like to be. The hinge, you could simply pull and draw in. If you need a little bit of support, you can absolutely do the same thing with a ball or the cushion, one hand on that support, that chair, and one hand giving me a pull down. I'm doing a pull back. I've got my chest open. I've got the shoulder blades coming together, and I'm working to keep that ball where it is, behind the knee, driving up, give me a crunch. 5 more, 4 more, 3 more, 2 more, last one. Woo! So it might be a perfect time to have a little water break if you've not had one as yet. So just taking some nice big deep breaths. breathing into the openness of your chest, breathe into the back, breathe into the belly, so try not to hold on to the core the entire time we're here together. So breathing in and breathing out. You can have, if you want to, the cushion or the ball back again, or give me a bodyweight version. You can bring the chair back in again as well. You can pop a hinge in, but I probably won't when I'm doing mine freestanding. But we're coming into a parallel version of a squat and the releve, which we did together, minus the ball. When you've got the ball or the cushion, you're just going to do more pelvic floor engagement, more inner thigh engagement, because you're having to hold on to something. You're actively engaging that area, even without knowing it. So that being said, enough chit chat. So I've got my ball, same as earlier when I did the leg pulsing. Oh, you can see a little bit of light through it now. So I don't have it wedged all the way up. I don't have it right at the bottom. I've got that nice little sweet spot between the fleshy part of my inner thighs. It actually makes me stand up. It actually makes me engage even before we get going. So my glutes are engaged, my thighs are engaged, otherwise the ball or the cushion would just be on the floor. So you don't have to put the squat in. If you want to start with me, I'm going to start with the releves again, and then we're going to put the squats in, and then you may or may not have hold, you may or may not have pulsing. So if you haven't got the ball, you can do a pulsing that is an up and down. Try not to bob or go too fast. So you're just pressing and pressing. If you remember, like we did with the wide plies, if you've got the ball, we're going to do a pulse that has a squeeze of the ball or the cushion. So just going to let the timer kind of run for us, and I'll change where we're at as we're going. So lifting and lowering, relaxed posture, tummy's engaged, relaxed arms, just kind of go with the flow. Releve on its own, parallel position. I'm already squeezing my ball, like I mentioned, or it would be down there by my ankles or by my feet. So not too speedy. Give me already the idea of some version of hold. So breathing in when you're tapping down, lifting up from the base of the pelvis, lifting right up all the way through the rib cage. So you're lifting from within. Keep the relaxed shoulders and keep going for me. Let's do this just for 2 more. We've got 1 more. Can you stay up? Can you slide down? So now I'm in a releve. Try not to tip forward. Just give me a nice strong stance. If you can walk the feet together, walk the feet together. If you've got no ball, you could walk and actually have them right together. If you can squeeze and go down and up, just hold on to that ball just a little bit more. These are our version of little mini squats. They're not huge. If you need to hold on to an extra layer of support, that chair off to the side or even in front of you with these ones, just be careful that you don't lean towards the chair and kind of hang on to it. I'll just come to the side to show you. So I'm just sliding down, sliding up. If you can, let's go sliding down and have more of an oomph to come up. So slide down, squeeze up. Still with releve, or you put the heels down here, now you lift them. Slide, pull, breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, exhale. Zip up through that core, zip up through the pelvic floor, zip up through those inner thighs. You are squeezing them. When you stand tall, breathe in, breathe out. Last 2, last 1. Slide down. If you need to put the feet down, the heels down, I'm actually going to lift mine higher, get lower in my legs. I am pulsing these legs in. Squeeze. I'm going to get my feet a bit closer. Squeeze. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Tummy's engaged. If you don't have the ball, give me little pulses, but you are lower in those legs. We are working for 10 more seconds. Keep squeezing. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Woo. Lovely jubbly. So as always, give yourself time to have a little something. It's not as easy to find a rhythm that actually helps you to stretch out entirely because you are on your feet and you are working. So we can stretch a little deeper when we're done. So from here, we are going to come into Just a little bit, so I'm similar to doing it. Just a little bit of a body weight version of opening everything up. So we are coming into our heel kicking and our balance challenge by leaning and using your core. And then we're just going to do a pull down. So a slow holding version for a change. So pull the arms behind, pull the elbows behind, kick your bottom and hold it ever so slightly before you just go straight on into that next repetition. So keep breathing in, keep breathing out. Nice, calm, rhythmical breaths here. Inhale, exhale. Nice and calm, nice and relaxed. Keep going. Let's do this for about 5 more. If you want to, change the arms, change the tempo, and just give me a slightly speedier version for that last 5. 4, 3, 2, 1 each side. Perfect. So from here, we've done enough releve, but we are going to go into, just to kind of finish out this standing little sequence, we're going to go into where we came from in the beginning when I gave you the first position plie, the wide plie, and I did my pointed toe to get us there. But we're going to do it all on one side and then the other. I was going side to side. If you want to go side to side, you can. What I'm going to suggest is you may want to have that chair off to the side or in front to do this one on one side, and then you'll swap to the other. So first position, good posture already for me. Slide down, keep the heels down. From here, zip up, stronger than we did before. Glutes, inner thighs, pelvic floor. Then lift really strongly and slide down really strongly and lift a bit higher and then close those feet together. So it is exactly the same, but it's not. So it's exactly the same movement patterns. We're just making each and every portion of it a little bit stronger. So you might have a different tempo and a different flow to me. You might not be going as deep. We might be going faster or slower, and that's all fine. Just let's go with the flow for about 30 seconds on one side and then 30 seconds on the other. So not speedy, lovely, controlled, zip, squeeze, ease it down, zip, squeeze, lift, plant, get right down because you're nice and warm now. Let's do good quality repetitions for about 10 more seconds on this side. So there's not loads of them, but enough to get a lovely little bit of engagement going. I totally missed the releve, the first position, sorry. So I'm just going to put 2 in here because I missed one. And then pause. Let's go to the other side. There's my brain jumping to the next thing. So same idea. On the second side, slide down first, lift the leg, pop the toe, get right down in the middle, lift, squeeze, slide down, squeeze, lift and point, slide down again, lift it, squeeze to close, slide down, first position squat or first position plie. Are you ready to finish strong? Let's do 2 more. Slide, squeeze it, lift and lower, down in the center, close it tight. Last one. Let's get into that wide plie. Bring it to a close. Pause. Lovely. Okie dokie. So, ball or no ball, we're going to go down on the floor. We're going to have some supine, so just some lying down, abs and legs, especially some hamstrings. If you've got that ball, we're going to have it behind the knee. So if you've got that cushion, this might be an easy one than ever doing it standing. Might be easier to try and wedge it in whilst you're lying down on your back. We're also going to do a couple of things. So we've got single-sided when I said it's behind the knee, so there'll be one for one side, one for the other. And then there's a boat pose in the middle of that. So boat pose is where I'm coming first. Ball is what I need. And with my boat pose, I'm going to see, as always, what is available. So you do the same. Would you or do you need to have an extra cushion wedged in your back, or do you need your mat folded over? How are you feeling where you are right now to just pop the ball between your inner thighs and squeeze it? So same idea, fold up that cushion and pop it in. I'm going to say let's roll those shoulders and get your fingertips facing your bottom. So you're in a little softened elbow, so a little bit of a tricep dip. tummy's engaged, proud chest stays throughout. Here, if you'd like to, you could squeeze the cushion, squeeze the ball, breathe in from the pelvis, follow out the belly, exhale, and you don't have to lift the legs at all. If you could walk down a little bit, I'm going to walk back and walk down. So I'm going to hinge, and then you could lift, and you could give me a squeeze here that has you in a tabletop. If you would prefer, and you are able to actually get into boat pose in a classic sense, where you could have the parallel legs and then straight through my thighs, straight through my back, and you could hold, but you can still hold because you've got the ball, you can still hold in a tricep dip. So if you've got the ball, you can give me squeeze in here. If you feel the legs, I feel my ankles are flailing around a bit. So I actually quite like it between my calves, and you can do the same thing. So you could go on the tiptoes, you could hinge back, you could hold it if this is good for you, body weight or otherwise, flex foot or pointed toes, and then I'm gonna squeeze hold. When I squeeze the ball, I'm gonna engage the core. Inhale, release, squeeze it. Let's do 5 of whatever you're doing. Whether you're giving me a 5-second hold, give me a 5-second hold. Let's do a couple more with the squeeze of the ball if you can. And pause. So, heavy breathing. We're coming down onto the mat. So we're going to come and lie down. Let's do it with the or without the ball. So I really don't mind. If you would like to, the ball, pick a side for it. You'll wedge the ball in. It can stay with the flexed foot. It can stay with the pointed toe. Either are good options. And then what you're going to do is give me a little reverse curl. So I've got this ball wedged in. I've got my tiptoes ready to support me. I can have my hands down and try not to just use the hands to push off of, but you're using your core and a little bit of a lift element. So toe tap and lift. Breathe in, breathe out. So you can see where you can be. If you haven't got that ball, you could give me a little walk up and you could kick it up with a little lift, or you could hold that knee in and do the same thing where you're holding a knee close to the chest or the thigh close to the chest. So wherever you are with this, when it's available to you, maybe lift a little higher, maybe straighten the other leg and kick it up. Let's do 3 more. We've got 2 more, 1 more, and pause. Lovely. So if you need it, it's a prime position to just have a wiggle out. We will stretch our hamstrings in a little bit anyway. So I've got a swap because I did have the ball, and the same if you've got the ball or the cushion. But if you wanted to, you can just have, if you've done a single side, but you know perhaps it's not right on the other side, give me a double of whatever option of this you would like. So you could give me little mini ones to start with again. Very gentle. Try to take away tension through the chest. So get the shoulders back and down. You might need a wider hand position. You might be able to kick up with that leg up in the air, reaching out through those tiptoes. You breathe in and you breathe it out. Inhale, exhale. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm just going to lift us up because you don't have to throw yourself up like that. But we're going to come into a seated forward bend just to kind of bring that parallel, because you've been putting pressure on your head or neck or upper body there. Just let yourself just breathe it out here. So I do have pointed toes. I do have a holding version. You can have whatever version, excuse me, makes sense for you. Breathing in, breathing out. If you would like to, I'll just pop that off to the side. Whilst you're seated here, you can have one heel in, toes pointed or a flexed foot. And you could just give me a gentle sweep. It doesn't have to be a huge side bend. It might be nice to be able to go over on the angle. It might be nice even to just hold the thigh and lift up. If you're feeling it through your neck from what we were just doing, or the upper back, this might be a nice one to just hold here and lean and stretch out. And because I've done one side, I will do a little something there for the other side. So you could have a different version on the second side. You could have a deeper version of side bend. You could have done a bit of thread the needle. I would always just encourage you to do what makes sense for you. And you could give me a double stretch, a hand on the outside. And I did more of an upright version. So, excuse me, hand on the thigh and rotate. And look and drop and maneuver as you see fit. And then I'm just going to bring us back to the neutral, which is just having both legs out. I'm going to see if I can go a bit deeper and wrap my hands down through my feet, down even towards the arch of your feet if it's there for you, because that for me is more calf stretching, which we were heavy on the calves today. So breathing in and breathe it out. And then when you're ready, just out of your own way, scoop underneath you, plant the hands and come into a classic box position, flat hands, parallel arms, parallel legs. Give yourself some cat-cow. It's a nice calming transitional movement before we come up to standing again. So just going with the flow of the breath, movement of your body, tuck the pelvis under, tuck the tailbone under, C-curve your spine, looking up, rounding through, tuck the toes, lift up, bottom up, stretch those legs for me. If you want to walk it out, you walk it out. If you can hold it, you hold it. Tailbone up in the air, breathing in, breathing out. For a change, step in and give me a kind of low ragdoll arm position here. So my chest is on my thighs, my head is flopping down, and we are rolling ourselves up. When we are up, we've done plenty of it already together, but we're just going to do some hip opening, shoulder opening, and sweeping movement. So if you can, you might actually go low, and you might like to pull out. So you might reach across. It's like doing a little bit of a thread the needle or a wood chop action, but I'm going to go low and stretch, reach and stretch. You could stretch in between. Let me just go a little wider. You could give me that stretch we've already done together when we did it parallel, going side to side, reach it, stretch it, and then if you want to go over and hold, or you want to drop down and pull, stretch, pull up, pull out, reach it, pull it, breathe in, breathe out. We've already done it together, but a standing forward bend with the wide legs is going to help us through your inner thighs. So flat back, if you want to stay here, or you've got that chair to pop your hands onto, or you could reach it out and you can come all the way down. Plant the hands, just take some nice big deep breaths, breathing in and breathing out. As you roll up for me, you may have to change the depth of this, but if you can turn one foot out, turn the other, straighten both straighten both legs, then you're coming into a nice intense stretch for your hamstrings. And then if you want to, you don't have to come up. You could walk it all the way around. You might need to just position, soften the knees and change exactly where you are, but you're stretching forward, breathing in, breathing out. If you can come up, come out, we'll just walk it in, and then we're just going to do that up and over the gate. And then it's a bit strange, but come from behind and kind of lean in. And then maybe just walk it out and kind of kick out those feet. So you're just kicking them out behind you. A little bit of a walking calf stretch, this one. And then if you're able to hold again, let's hold. Slightly deeper version than we did earlier. And if you want to reach the arm up, you can always stretch out. This is a yoga pose, but it's a lovely thigh stretch. And then swap out for the other side. Lift up tall. Get yourself balance-wise nice and settled before you do any leaning. But you could do arm up. Not on this side. You could go arm up and over. There we go. So breathing in, breathe it out. And then just do a little, I know there wasn't lots on our hands, but just do a little of these fists and shakes, and then you are all done. So thank you so much for joining me. That was your whistle stop tour of bar with a little bit of ball, a little bit of extra toning, a little bit of extra resistance. Hope you enjoyed that one. I will see you here, right here, very, very soon. Thanks so much.